Hi, everyone. Super excited to be with you tonight and to share something that's on my heart. That is a kind of it's a life's calling, I guess. Um, this is a talk that I've been developing for a while, and so you're the first ones to hear it. so, um, Before I jump in, I just want to honor the keys here that we have tonight. Dave Asher is amazing. I just want to acknowledge his contribution to the conversation tonight. I may or may not interact with him, and I just want you all to know kind of his role here tonight is to support this conversation. And so this is a conversation with you and I, and he is here to play with us. So I do want you to meet Dave because he's amazing, just like you're amazing. So this talk it's called Using the Fun Formula to Raise Your Life Vibrations. And fun is an acronym for F. It's find your inner magic, your inner strength. Like what makes you unique, what makes you amazing, what makes you you. And the U is understanding that you are a divine being in a human form. And N is for nurturing your mind, body, spirit, with this trifecta of human energy that we all are, with what delights and excites you. So I'm super excited. I'm Julie Cotton, and I am happy to be sharing time and space with you. I'm a bit of a misfit, I'm a mashup of a lot of different things, as we all are. We all kind of bring this multi-dimensionality, this layered beingness to who we are into our everyday interface. And so for me, I'm someone who loves to play. I love to laugh and have fun, and I love to think. Like I'm a deeply philosophical person, someone that thinks deeply about spiritual things. I look at the mundane and I look for the magic in the mundane, if you will. I look for what's mystical and spiritual and valuable in all of the things. My curiosity is maximized. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What was that for? What was that for? That's kind of a mantra for me, is what is that for? So I appreciate you and the divine being that you are. One of the things that I have dabbled in and played in, I'm kind of a multidisciplinary integration specialist. So I like to take things that I find fun to play with and mesh them together. And honestly, I think that comes from my theater background. So if anybody knows me, they know that I was a theater girl from the time I was like 5. Oh, somebody's gonna like let me be on stage. I think I was an angel in my Christmas play. How apropos, as we're in Holy Weeks right now between Passover and Easter. And I got to learn early on, especially in undergrad, that it takes a village to produce the magic of theater. So in theater, we create a world and we present it to an audience and we invite them in to question, to confront, to entertain, to delight themselves and really engage with the content, with the world on the stage in a way that has them leave the theater perhaps forever altered in the way that they have it, the way that you participate in the world. And in order to do that in a way that has meaning or value or impact, it really takes a village. And so nothing happens in a vacuum. Like it takes the playwright to have the concept of the world. It takes actors to bring those characters off the page and to life. It takes a director with a vision to see where are we going. It takes lighting specialists to illuminate what you're going to see in the space of the audience. It takes a scenic designer to paint and portray the world and bring it to life, costumes and props. And it takes the front of house people to go out and talk to you and be like, hey, buy a ticket to this show so that you can be a part of the magic. So nothing happens in a vacuum, and that's so in our lives as well. So, tonight we're coming to you and sharing this message. And that happens because of the amazing invention of technology and the ability to transmit messages like this across the globe, streaming live. Dave and I are not even in the same location. And the technology of the, instrumental designers that create his piano and the people who've created our laptops and computers, like it takes a system, a whole village to even just have this conversation right now. So we're operating within this matrix, within this world, in order for us to dialogue and be in relationship with one another. And it's not something that I take lightly. So I'm forever presencing the all of that. Right? So in yoga, we say namaste. The divine in me honors the divine in you. And I've been blessed to take many trainings. I'm curious, as I mentioned earlier. I'm a forever student of life. And I love to learn about this whole system. How is this game of humaning? How is it set up? How does it work? Right? Like I want to understand the machinations of it all. And in that, I've actually thrown myself into several studies, including the body. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I'm a martial artist, a yoga teacher, and Pilates and things like that. I love human movement. I want to understand the human condition for my own optimal experience of life, and also so that I can support my fellow players in playing this game together. So thanks for being here tonight again. And I'll be bringing kind of all of these different disciplines into the conversation as we have the fun formula helping us to raise our life vibrations. Because, we're vibrational beings. We look at ourselves like, often I'll talk about myself as a radio, and you too. I mean, if this resonates with you and you want to take it with you, please feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But this idea of being vibrational, that we can actually tune in, like to the music in the background, and feel and like pick up the tones, mood, the ambiance of not just a time or a space, but of a being. You've probably felt this in nature. If anybody gets outside, and you might find a beautiful vista on a mountainside or something, and you find yourself just tuning into that and feeling a certain way as a result of this space that you're in. Totally different if you go along a beach and you're walking in the sand. Totally different if you're in a desert, right? So just the vibration of things, the vibration of humans, the vibration of emotions, all of that plays a role in the scenes of our lives. And why would we want to raise our life vibration? What is that even about? How many of you have felt you've been like on a high? You've like had a day where you're like, Life is so good. So good. I love everything looks more vibrant. Colors are brighter. Smiles on people's faces are bigger. You just feel expansive. So, wouldn't it be great if we could have that feeling anytime we want it? It can also show up in the depths of our emotions, right? Like maybe the vibration is more solemn. Recently had a loved one transition, and there's a vibration to that as well. That's just as connected, just as valuable, just as contoured in the human experience of like, wow, humans are awesome. We can have these amazing experiences that really shape us, inform us, impact us, drive us. And they're not always like feel good vibrations, but it doesn't mean that we're in a low vibration, right? For me to feel the loss and grieve a loved one means I've had the depth of love and connection with that human being that would have me experience loss. So it's not something we ever have to be like, well, I don't want to feel that. I can't feel that. I think a lot of time we spend as humans is spent in the resistance to what is. And one of the modalities I love to practice, we're practicing it right now, is improv. Because it's not about saying no to what is and resisting it. It's about saying yes. Yes. This is the scenario that I'm in. Yes. And how can I have the most fun playing this scene as possible? So let's talk about some fun. We have F, which is find your inner magic. You definitely have it. If you're like, I don't have magic, Julie, what are you talking about? So maybe magic isn't your word. Maybe it's your strengths, your gifts, your talents, your passions. What is it for you that when you find yourself in the experience and the doing of it, that you become like the superhero version of yourself, right? What is that for you? We all have it. And if you haven't found it yet, it doesn't mean that you don't have it. It just means you haven't found it yet. So keep looking and follow your fun in order to find it. Like, where do you find yourself most at ease? Where do you find yourself most generous, most giving, most expansive, most just at peace, at true and utter peace? Like, where are you when you feel the best? And that might be a key for you to find your inner magic. For me, it's in relationship. I love human beings. I love to connect with human beings. I love to educate. I'm a trainer. I'm a natural born teacher and facilitator. Even when I have massage clients on my table and I'm massaging them, I'll talk to them and educate them about what's going on in their body. What are they feeling? What are they experiencing? And give them as much agency over their own health as possible. That is like my jam. I love to remind people of how amazing they are. I love to put people back in the driver's seat of their own lives. And that's the next part of this, is the you. Understanding that you, my friends, are a divine being. Divine can have weird energy for people. You might call that God, you might call it Allah, you might call it the Tao, you might call it chi or prana or energy, inertia, whatever that is for you, the universe. Like, don't let the word or the symbol that I'm saying stop you from hearing what I'm saying. The word is just a guide, this divine idea, this innate aspect to all human beings, that life force that animates us all is universal. It is. And whatever you want to call it, I totally celebrate that. so, um, so please hear my heart and don't get stuck on the word. You are a divine being. You are fully divine and you are fully human. So it's this coming together, this synergy, this marriage, this union, this play of those elements, right? I mean, how cool this concept of divinity. I've definitely done my fair share of playing around with it. I went to a Baptist private Christian school when I was in undergrad, and I do energy healing now, and I work with the mind and hypnotherapy and things like that. So I've like definitely like delved into world religion and like, what is this divine aspect that we all have? And it is universal. It's in everyone. Well, there's a song I love. It's in every one of us to be wise. And it is that inner wisdom, that inner knowing, kind of that inner physician. When I'm on a massage table, like I talk to people, like there's a part of us that knows what homeostasis is. There's a part of us that knows what it means to be balanced and how to get there. Thank goodness. The part of me that beats my heart doesn't need my conscious mind beating my heart for me. The part of me that can ingest food and process it and break it down and send it to the parts of my cells that need it. I'm like, thank goodness I don't have to do that at a conscious level, because there are systems and things in place that I couldn't even possibly imagine. So that, like that divine aspect of us that helps the humanness of us to really optimize our experience here. In the great play of Planet Earth, the human drama, thank you, Shakespeare, right? All the world's a stage and the men and women merely players. And that's something I love too, this idea in improv that we are actors and we take on these characters like a costume or a dress or a shirt that I might slip on and try on just for a 3-minute scene, or maybe it's a 30-minute play and I'm that character the whole time. And then when the show is done, I just hang that costume back up and I go back to being the actor me. So this divine actor persona that we all have, I think, is having a lot of fun being you and being me and being Dave and being the keys and being the walls behind me and being the dog that's in the house that I'm staying at. Like, the divine is having so much fun in this like human amusement park. I feel like, how much fun would it be for something that is eternal, that can know nothing other than complete and utter peace and love and bliss and eternalness, that it can come in to this human meat suit that I've got here and play a Julie and have so much fun being Julie. I have so much fun being a you. That just boggles my mind. I love thinking of it like that. It's like, wow, I love this ride. I can't wait to get on and ride it. And just the way that an actor reads a script and says, yeah, I'll audition for that role. It's going to be the best role I've ever played. It knows the beginning, has the whole script, and it knows all of the scenes of that particular character's life. It knows the conflict and the climax and the catharsis and the denouement. It knows all of these like experiences that the character is going to go through, and it knows when the play is over. And it says, yes, I choose to play that part. Sign me up. So, anyway, I could talk on that for hours, but I won't. So understanding that we are this divine being that has chosen to play in human form, including all of the traumas and dramas that that form might incur, all of the joys and the blisses and successes and failures that that human being is going to incur in its lifetime. And the final moments, the final breath, the winning of the Oscar, as you finally say farewell and take your final curtain call. All of that. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Because to play the part, to do the thing, is so worth it. And then we just return to eternity and bliss and joy and peace, which we've always been. We just forgot. Anyway. So the last part of the fun formula is to nurture the form, nurture your mind, your body, and your spirit with what delights and excites you, with what makes you happy. Because while we're here at the Human Amusement Park, playing these amazing characters that have so much rich depth and perspective and experiences and emotions and moodiness and relationships and circumstances and situations and all of that. So while we're going through all of that, how do you nurture your vessel? How do you nurture your instrument while you're here in the amusement park, right? Like, how many of you have been to an amusement park, right? Do you go in and you're like, okay, I'm going to bring my backpack and I'm going to have water. I'm going to have my sunblock, my hat, and some shades, and a poncho if it's raining. I remember being at Disneyland one time with a really good friend of mine, Rick, and it was raining cats and dogs. But we were prepared. We nurtured our bodies. We were taking advantage of those shorter lines. And we had our ponchos and we're walking around the park. And we're like, he stepped in a puddle that was really deep. And so his tennis shoe is all soaked. And I'm laughing at, his misfortune, quote unquote misfortune. But it was delightful. And we can talk about it years later and be like, man, what great memories. Of course, I got mine on the Matterhorn. I'm sitting there in the front, going around the roller coaster, and we go up around this turn, and the water there's so much rain. There's water in the car we were riding in, and it totally floods up under my dress that I'm wearing, and it completely saturates the lower half of my body. Right? Like, how fun. And luckily, we had towels with us too. So we were ready to nurture the body that we were in the scene that we found ourselves in. So how do you nurture your body? How do you nurture your mind? How do you nurture your spirit? And it's not for anyone else but you to determine what that means. Some people, if they're playing a character that is someone who loves to be alone, then making sure you have alone time is part of your nurturing. Someone like me who really thrives off of connection and people, like, I'm going to make sure I'm around people as much as I can be, even during our current scene partner, which, a lot of us are being safe and not being around a lot of people right now. So what is your way of nurturing? Some people might need healthy organic food. Some people might prefer meat or Some people might be vegan, like whatever the thing is, maybe you need to be in nature, go hike. Maybe you need to meditate or do yoga or whatever. Maybe you thrive off of like fried foods. I used to love chicken wings. It's my favorite food ever. So like, what do you do? Do you get like friend time? Do you get family time? Are you someone who loves to set up a home base and you have your routines? What do you do? There is no right way. It's your play. This is your life. You are the chooser choosing. And many of us are trying to live somebody else's life. And so we don't have fun in our lives because we're playing somebody else's role, or we're playing a part that somebody else told us we should play, or we're trying to earn the love of someone else. And so we're trying to be who they want us to be. We haven't even stopped to ask, who am I? Who am I? Know thyself, right? That's like one of the highest callings we can have. And maybe we're someone who likes to please others. There's a personality style out there, a very supportive personality style that thrives off of caring for and nurturing other people. Great. That's why it's not like a cookie cutter, one size fits all answer. Who are you? Who are you? Who do you say that you are? Who do you want to be? Are you living a life that you're proud of, that it feels good to wake up to every morning? And if you're not, just like in improv, you could be like, and scene. Just let the curtain come down on that scene. Let the page turn. We can use a writing analogy, right? That chapter can be done for you. And maybe not. Maybe you have commitments. Maybe you've given your word to a lot of people and you need to complete on some things. Cool. But awareness is the first part of this fun formula, right? And what do you do to find your inner magic? What do you do to find your gifts? Do you know? Has anyone asked you? Have you asked you? Who are you? Who are you? I say, oh, there you are, God. The divine in me honors the divine in you. And I love the role that you're playing. You're doing it so great. There is not another you. You're the only you. And you're rocking it out. You're winning the Oscar for being you. Are you nurturing your mind, your body, your spirit? And if you're not, that's okay. You don't have to stay in this scene forever unless you want to. And for me, improv is just a tool I use to give myself options, to say, yes, this is who I am right now. And I can keep playing this role until my final scene and my curtain call. And I can change my story anytime I want to, because I'm the chooser choosing. I'm a divine being in human form, and so are you. And you can have it any way you want it. My invitation is to have fun. Enjoy the ride with all its ups and downs. Enjoy the downs. Because in this world of duality and polarity, we have opposites. We have right. We have left. We have good. We have bad. We have up. We have down. And all of the spectrums in between. It's part of the game. It's part of the ride. So have fun on the ride. Thanks for playing with me. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here.